Hello, welcome to lesson 5 in A Course in Miracles. I am never upset for the reason I think. This idea, like the preceding one, can be used with any person, situation, or event you think is causing you pain. Apply it specifically to whatever you believe is the cause of your upset, using the description of the feeling in whatever term seems accurate to you. I'm never upset for the reason I think. The word never what does it really mean here? I am never upset for the reason I think, so I don't know why I'm upset. Is that the truth? Truth? Perhaps. I don't want to go too fast into this. I like to meditate on it a bit. I am never upset for the reason I think. Well, I would claim that is not true for me, because I can be upset and I know exactly come here, and I know exactly why. And I do believe that what this book tells me is the truth, and that I might be in the world of concepts. That's why I'm doing this. I will go ahead with my playful cat. I love you. The upset may seem to be fear, worry, depression, anxiety, anger, hatred, jealousy, or any number of forms, all of which will be perceived as different. This is not true. However, until you learn that forms... Okay, here we go. When I read the lessons, I notice that when I go to the text, the explaining text, there are so many... I read out loud, and there are... and I don't understand what I read. I try to read it as clearly as possible, and usually one sentence comes up that I understand, and here it came. However, until you learn that form does not matter, each form becomes a proper subject for the exercises for the day. So any form, anything that comes up, becomes a proper subject for the exercise for the day. And what was the exercise for the day? The exercise for the day is I am never upset for the reason I think. Never. Applying the same idea to each of them separately, each of the subjects separately, is the first step in ultimately recognizing they are all the same. There's a lot of playing going around here behind the camera, and it's so joyful to both see and recognize it and listen to it. And I hope you're not disturbed. I'm not. It wakens me from going too much into my intellect. I like to be in the feeling of things, and the feeling of just a lesson and sitting here, reading this out loud. Yeah. When using the idea for today, that I'm never upset for the reason I think. When using this idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you'd ascribe to it. And here comes an example. I am not angry at Jim for a reason, and if you didn't see the previous lesson number 4, I made a fictionary person up, Jim, a guy in my family who is annoying. And I made him up and made this fictionary person because this is not a therapy session for me. Well, it is, of course, in one sense. But the aim is not to be, I want to be personal but not private. So my personal issues, they will shine through, of course, as long as I go with this. But it makes it easier if I just make a fictionary person. The lesson will presumably be applicable anyhow. I am not angry at Jim for the reason I think. I'm not afraid of Jim for the reason I think. I could also say I am not angry at the world situation for the reason I think. I am not afraid of the world situation for the reason I think. This is better in this lesson because there are things going on in the world, and every one of us, I think, are in some kind of reaction to this now and then. Hopefully not all the time. That would wear us out. So I'm not angry at the way the world is going for the reason I think. I'm not afraid of the world situation, where the world is going for the reason I think. This is much better now than talking about the fictionary person, Jim. Because it awakes things in me. So what could the reason be then for my upset that I of course have from time to time? Let's go ahead with the text. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources. Well, I did. For sources of upset in which you believe, and forms of upset which you think result. This is a tricky part. And I will have to have a glance at the Swedish equivalent. As I'm reading the English one still from the device, and I have the book in Swedish in front of me. So I'm looking for help. Okay. So I will not substitute. This should not, what should not be substituted? When using the idea for today, and the idea is I'm never upset for the reason I think. I have to divide this in parts to make it understandable for me. When using the idea, okay, I'm never upset for the reason I think. When using the idea for today for a specific perceived cause of an upset in any form, use both the name of the form in which you see the upset and the cause which you ascribe to it. Right. But again, this should not be substituted for practice periods in which you first search your mind for sources, in quotation marks, of upset in which you believe, and forms of upset which you think this is tricky. And it's fun, because like the intellect and the feelings and all the levels inside that I have as tools for perceiving events in my life, they are alert and not alert, alert not alert, alert not alert, in a desperate movement inside to grasp something of this. Quite confusing. We'll see what will happen with that. It can be good to be confused. I heard some time when I was in Rishikesh in 1997, listening to very interesting people, gurus, swamis, talking for a month, that it is a holy state of mind to be confused. I'm confused now. In these exercises, more than in the preceding ones, you may find it hard to be indiscriminate and to avoid giving greater weight to some subjects than to others. Yeah, that's true. Fictional regime or other people who are actually alive, kicking and living, that I'm annoyed at, if I think of them, and the world situation and all that. Yes, it's hard to indiscriminate. There, I got it. It's hard to indiscriminate. Took me a while to get there. And here comes some help. It might help to precede the exercises with the statement, there are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. Yay. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing my state of mind. They are. Then examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing so. Now this is time. This calls for some contemplation, of course. Yes. And examine your mind for whatever is distressing you, regardless of how much or how little you think it is doing so. You may also find yourself less willing to apply today's idea to some perceived sources of upset than to others. Yes. If this occurs, and it did, think first of this. I love this. It comes a solution or help. Okay, so think first of this. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then I will regard them all as the same. I will read it again, because I didn't get it. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. I would need to meditate quite some time on this. And I will. And I also have to go ahead. Not to bore you too much. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. So I will not pretend that I understand stuff when I don't. I need some meditation on this. I need to think about this more. And at the same time, this should not be read by the intellect. Just go ahead. Not try to understand. Chobbe, the cat, is playing now, and he just tried gravity, and it worked as usual. Good on you. So I will not try to intellectualize this and understand it, but I have a tendency to, as I can see, maybe you too. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. And I will just go ahead now. Then, search your mind for no more than a minute or so and try to identify a number of different forms of upset that are disturbing you, regardless of the relative importance you may give them. I like relative importance. Relative importance. That's good. Apply the idea for today to each of them using the name of both the source of the upset as you perceive it and of the feeling as you experience it. Further examples are, maybe I could take him here because there's some exercise, cat exercise going on here. Hello, I will play with you soon and I will read here. I am not worried about the world situation for the reason I think. I am not depressed about the world situation for the reason I think. What do you think about this? 3 or 4 times during the day is enough. Okay, so this last 2 sentences is really, really a meditation. I'm not worried about the world situation for the reason I think. I am not depressed about the world situation for the reason I think. I will also, stress the fact that I am not that distressed about the world situation. Not that much. And I'm certainly not depressed by it. I can feel depressed feelings about other things, but not for the world situation. I just want to make that clear. Why? Because I have a good feeling that we are all going to be perfectly fine, and the globe too, the planet too. And this is time when things are peaking, and it's harmful. No birth is without labor, painful labor. So I just wanted to tell that thing inside some brackets, so you get to know me a little bit more. Well, now I have read all the text, and could I please have any comment? Is there any comment from my cameraman and technical support team and son?
Yeah, it's interesting listening to the text that what did it say about distressed feeling, that what you should do?
There are actually 4 texts, some sentences, and I will give the first one here. I am not angry at filling blank for the reason I think. I am not afraid of filling blank, the blank, for the reason I think. That's the first one. The second one, there are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind.
Yeah, so it seems like a repetition of the previous teachings.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I was on the wrong lesson
Right.
first. Now it's
Perhaps we can even go forward
it is number 5.
to number 6, maybe.
Right on?
Yeah. Why not?
Sure. Let's go on with number 6. That's a dairy thing to do, but let's shoot. That's dairy things to do to go on to lesson number 6 in one sequence, but let's go for it. And it says, I am upset because I see things. I'm trying to translate it here because I wasn't quick enough to get it in my device in English. Thanks for your patience. Okay. I am upset because I see something that is not there. I am upset because I see something that is not there. Now this is getting interesting. The exercises with this idea are very similar, as you said, to the preceding ones. Again, it is necessary to name both the form of upset, anger, fear, worry, depression, and so on, and the perceived source very specifically for any application of the idea. For example, here comes an example. I am angry at the world situation because I see something that is not there. I am worried about the world situation because I see something that is not there. I feel both joy and fear in my body now when I read this. So it is good that I did not use the fictionary person in this, because this calls for a true process in me to be fully understood is not the world, but that's not important to be. It's better to use something that is really in me. So I continue with lesson number 6. Today's idea is useful for application to anything that seems to upset you and can profitably be used throughout the day for that purpose. However, the three or four practice periods which are required should be preceded by a minute or so of mind searching as before, and the application of the idea to each upsetting through uncovered in the search. Again, I didn't understand it, but no, it doesn't matter. Again, if you resist applying the idea to some upsetting thoughts more than to others, remind yourself of the 2 cautions stated in the previous lesson. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. There are no small upsets. They are all equally disturbing to my peace of mind. And I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. I cannot keep this form of upset and let the others go. For the purposes of these exercises, then, I will regard them all as the same. I will regard them all as the same. Could I have some reflection?
Yeah, it's very interesting that it tries to create unity and sort of oneness again with all of the exercises. So I wonder why the book is divided in the way that it is, with lessons and so on. Because it has a great quality to it where it's saying the same thing or small parts of the same thing in each lesson. We're not upset by the thing that we think we're upset by. It's actually something else. Or that when we look at the world or big complex situations where we don't know the details and what they are, that we create something in the mind and then we become upset by that thing instead of being upset by the situation, just looking at it coldly. That's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting to me.
Thank you very much for that clear reflection. Thank you. And thank you. And please comment, please like, and please subscribe. I am so grateful for that. It really helps me to go on with these lessons, the eternal student. Me of A Course in Miracles. Thank you.